What's up, guys, and welcome back to Diggin Sports. On today's episode, we're going to go through the very first 12-team college football playoff. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First game of the playoffs, we will see Indiana face off against Notre Dame. Indiana's real test of the season came against none other than the Ohio State Buckeyes. And what did Indiana do? They dropped the ball and they failed miserably. All right. So now you got Indiana. They're 11-1. Notre Dame on the other side is also 11-1. Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois. So at least Indiana has lost to a better team, you would say, right? Right. All right. So, but since that point, Notre Dame has gotten better. Has Indiana really gotten away from that loss? They really haven't been tested since that game, and that was the only game that they were tested, because that was only a few weeks ago. Back to Notre Dame. Do I think Notre Dame is a legitimate threat in this playoff field? Absolutely not. You know, them not even playing in a conference championship, not having that on their resume, and a loss to Northern Illinois. If I was the playoff committee, I don't even think they get in. Just my personal opinion. However, I do think Notre Dame has gotten better since Northern Illinois. They can really run the football with a guy named of Jeremiah Love. This guy can really, really run the football. Okay. His rushing yards versus the AP top 25, it sits at 357 yards on 44 attempts and 6 rushing touchdowns, with him averaging 8.1 yards per carry. So he can really run the football. Indiana, I don't know if they're going to really have an answer for him. So back to what I said, I don't think Notre Dame is a legitimate championship contender and a threat in this playoff, but I think they're a big enough threat to get past Indiana at home. With that being said, this is also supposed to snow in the forecast. We'll see how that plays out. I take Notre Dame in this game. All right, moving on at 12 o'clock the very next day on Saturday, we got SMU at Penn State. SMU coming off a great game against Clemson, coming back in that game, losing on the very final play of regulation on a long field goal. Okay, you get that past you. You pushed Alabama out of the playoffs just because of that. So that's cool. You're in. All right, you played good enough to get in. Now Penn State, they played a really good game against the number one team in the nation. Yeah, they gave up a lot of points. But Oregon, let's be honest, has got a great offense. So that's kind of understandable. They're going to give up those kind of points against a really good offense. That's kind of hard to stop. All right, so where do you go with this? You got SMU, Penn State. As for Clemson, you know, them SMU playing Clemson, they can be a threat in this playoff because we'll get to that a little later. Anyway, Clemson can be a good team, and SMU played them very, very well. Penn State, like I said, played Oregon very, very well. Now, I think the turning point in this game specifically, I think Penn State's defense makes a play or two. They make Jennings make a bad decision here and there. They make a big play, maybe get a turnover or two, and that flips the script of this game. They get the crowd into it, probably going to be a wideout, who knows. So I'm going to take Penn State. I think the defense is able to make that play or two, get the crowd into it, and they're able to beat SMU. So I'm going to go Penn State. All right, the next game, you will have Clemson playing in Austin, Texas against the Longhorns. Clemson, let's start with them. They let their foot off the gas and about let SMU win the ACC championship. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Also for Clemson's got a coach that's done this before. Now, it was a 14 playoff and not 12, but he's been here before. He's won the thing. You know, can he do it again? That's the question. They play a really good team in Texas that took Georgia to the wire. Now, in the first meeting, it's a little different. You know, Georgia, they played that game great from top to bottom, big in and the end. Now, in the second game, Texas was a little more prepared and still lost the game, let the backup come in and beat them. However, in this game, I think home field advantage plays a big key in this game, and I think Texas can ride that enough and get out of Austin with probably what's going to come down to the last possession, and Texas is able to win. So I'm going to take Texas against Clemson in a close one. Like I said, probably going to have the ball last, either kick a field goal, score a touchdown for the win. I'm going to go Texas. All right. If you know me, I am a Tennessee fan. It is what it is. Everybody's got their team. I'm a fan of Tennessee, always have been. Now, they play Ohio State. A lot of debate on this, that Tennessee should have had the home game and Ohio State should have been visiting Knoxville. It is what it is. But if you haven't heard, I had read one of my sources from the state of Tennessee. There's been 42% tickets sold in the state of Tennessee. Are they Ohio fans? Are they Tennessee fans? No one really knows. It just was sold out of the state of Tennessee. More than likely, it's Tennessee fans. With that being said, also, earlier in the week, a code was leaked out to buy tickets for loyal Ohio State fans. That was leaked. Tennessee got a hold of that, and to why they're buying more tickets. I've also heard, quote unquote, don't know how true it is, that you could possibly see up to 10 to 30,000 Tennessee fans at this game. That's huge. You had the athletic director from Ohio State saying Tennessee fans were rabid fans that was trying to steal tickets and invade the shoe. That is exactly the case, as I'm hearing. So Tennessee's trying to flip the script. They're trying their best to bring fans into Columbus, Ohio, and really try to make this more of a neutral site game than just a straight home game for Ohio State. Okay. Also, what I've heard, Ohio State's been saying, oh, Tennessee can't play in the cold. Hold up. For one, Tennessee plays in the mountains. It gets cold in the mountains. Of course, you're farther north. You say, okay, it's a little colder. Say what you want to. Tennessee knows how to play in the cold. As a matter of fact, last time they were out was probably one of the best days for Nico Iamaleava, and he had a great day with four passing touchdowns in that game, and they won by double digits in that game, was able to beat Vanderbilt. And I understand the quality of opponent. I get that. Yada, yada, yada. Ohio State, on the other hand, playing in cold weather against Michigan, lost 13-10. So, circling back to the cold weather, Tennessee, okay, if it snows, there's predicted snow, could happen. If that happens and they have to take away a throw in the football, Ohio State couldn't throw it against Michigan. Tennessee threw it against Vanderbilt in the cold, 30-degree weather. But if it comes down to the run game, who do you take then? Tennessee can ground and pound. That's what they do. A lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people think that Tennessee wants to spread you out wide and just throw the deep ball. It's not necessarily the case. Tennessee wants to run the football. They want to spread you sideline to sideline with a light box and then gash you with the run game. So Tennessee, if it turns to where they have to run the football, this is a huge advantage for Tennessee. And with everything, the tickets goes, the cold weather goes, if this turns into a run game, you take Tennessee. No doubt. And let's also mention, Tennessee is the only team in the college football playoff this year with a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. So, with all this being said, I think right now, where we stand, Ohio State, we're playing in Columbus. Okay, cool. I think Tennessee is playing better ball right now than Ohio State. Tennessee, to me, has a better overall team. Top 10 defense, top 10 offense. So I'm going to take Tennessee in this game. I think there's more leaning towards Tennessee to pick Tennessee than Ohio State. So I'm going to take Tennessee. All right. So now we're in the next round. Let's start with Texas and Arizona State. I've went back and forth on this game so many times. Arizona State can really run the football. They can. I really want to lean to Arizona State, and I think Texas has trouble stopping the run. But I think Arizona State will have to go try to feed the run game too much, and I think Texas will feed off that, and then they'll get into a position where they have to be one-dimensional on the pass game to try to get back in it if they get behind, and I just everything leans to take Texas than Arizona State, so I'm going to take Texas. With Tennessee and Oregon in the Rose Bowl, this is a big pick for me. Like I said, being a Tennessee fan, this is a tough one. Oregon's got a great team. They really, really do. But here's the thing. And I don't want nobody out there to think that I'm just being biased, because I'm really not. This is what I truly think. I think Tennessee wins this game. And the reason I think Tennessee, I think Oregon has a great offense. And nobody wants to stand toe-to-toe with that offense. You just don't want to unless you're in the position that Tennessee's in. All right? Here's a simple fact for you. Did you know that Tennessee, they've played in the Rose Bowl a couple times? 2 or 3 times. Can't remember the exact number. But Tennessee has yet to score a point in the Rose Bowl. Write that down for interesting facts. Tennessee changes that this year. And they score points. Now, the thing about it, like I said, Oregon's got a great offense, and you don't want to stand toe-to-toe with them unless you're Tennessee, because Tennessee has that top 10 defense. There's only been a couple of teams this year that scored over 19 points against Tennessee. So, I think, yes, they both got great offenses. Oregon probably an even a better offense. But I think the defense is going to be key in this game. And Tennessee, to me, has got a better defense than Oregon. So I'm going to take Tennessee with the upset. Penn State, Boise State. What does Boise got? Boise's got Ashton Gentry. He can really run the football. Now, if that's all they can lean on, I think it doesn't favor Boise. And they could get themselves behind in this game, and then they about like Arizona State. Then we got to throw the ball, and they're not used to doing that. They want to lean on Ashton Gentry, and that's not the case. I think Penn State, they can run the ball. They're not as an elite, as a throwing team than the rest of this field. But I think the defense is able to key on Ashton Gentry, and they're able to win the game off of that. So I'm gonna take Penn State. In the All-State Sugar Bowl, you got Georgia and Notre Dame. I'm going to take Georgia in this one. I think I'm a fan of Gunnar Stockton. I like what I've seen from that kid. Y'all go check out the highlight video I did for him. He is awesome. I think he can really pump up this team. How does he play? He played great in the SEC Championship when he came in the second half. How does he do from the start? It's kind of a big question, but I think Georgia's just too much for Notre Dame, a team that I don't even think should have made the playoff, like I said before. So I'm going to take Georgia. All right, So in the semifinals, we got Texas and Tennessee, Penn State and Georgia. We're going to start with Georgia and Penn State. This is going to be a big test for Georgia and Gunnar Stockton. But I think Georgia's defense shows up big. They're able to smash the run about like they did Texas the first time they met. And I think because of that, I don't think Penn State does too much offensively. I think Georgia's defense comes to play in this game, helps out Gunnar Stockton, lets him settle down in a big semifinal game to get to the national championship in Atlanta. I'm going to take Georgia to the national championship. On the other side, you got Texas and Tennessee. This is going to be a really, really good game. I'm a believer in Tennessee's defense. Texas, on the other hand, about like Oregon's got a great offense. But like you seen Georgia, the way they played them, if you get in their face, they will crack. They showed that not once, but twice against Georgia. I think Tennessee has a good enough defense to slow that offense down. I think Nico makes a play or two, explosive play. Probably the Dante Thornton Squirrel White connection, and they're able to get ahead and then just hunker down on defense. I think Tennessee gets to the national championship. It's not a biased pick. This is just my honest opinion. I'm taking Tennessee to the national championship. Then that leads you Tennessee and Georgia in the national championship. So here we stand. Tennessee and Georgia. Georgia probably with a backup quarterback. Who knows if Carson's able to make it. That's what I'm hearing. I don't think he will. But so now this Tennessee defense can hunker down on a backup quarterback in Gunnar Stockton, which I like. But I think with this good of a defense, I think this is the game that Gunnar will crack. As bad as I hate to say it for the kid, but he's young. I think he's poised to do great things for Georgia. But I think in this game, if it plays out the way that I predicted it, and they play Tennessee, Tennessee's played them one time with Carson Beck. All right, so now they have to, it's going to be a little different this time. They got a mobile quarterback in Gunnar Stockton, but I just think he'll just be a little too young in this position with a great defense on Tennessee. Now, don't get me wrong, Georgia's got a great defense as well, but Tennessee's played this team before, and unlike Texas, I think Tennessee can exploit on some of those things that they did wrong in the first time they played, and I think Tennessee can upset Georgia and win the national championship. All right, guys, that's my picks. I know some of you are gonna give me some harsh hate because I picked Tennessee to win it, but I had my reasons. You can't say I didn't. Hopefully, some of you guys out there will see it the way I see it. If not, you drop it in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you if I can. Yo, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Remember, I really do appreciate all the subscribes I've been getting. I think we're up to like 519, so we are past the halfway mark to get to that 1,000. And remember, like I said, we will do a giveaway for when we hit 1,000 subscribers for that Amazon gift card. So do not forget that. Let's get to 1,000. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell anybody you know. If they like sports, come here to Diggin Sports. I appreciate all the love and support so far. I hope this is a great college football playoff for the first time that we get 12 teams. As always here at Diggin Sports, keep digging.